All right, so we left off the other day with the story, the Aufbau house story of Mrs. Hund and her dorm, and how her dorm rooms were arranged and how she filled her dorm rooms, because she had certain rules of filling her dorm rooms. And remember, she had 4 different types of dorm rooms. She had the sunny side room, the party room, the dungeon, and the freak room. Okay? And they all held different amount of students. Okay, the sunny side room held 2 students, party rooms held 6 students, dungeons held 10 students, and freak rooms held 14 students. Okay? So, Miss Hund wants a system to be able to tell, okay, if I have 33 registration forms in my box of people who have registered to be in my dorm, then I need a way to tell where are these left off, like what room are they in, okay? So this is the arrangement of her dorm rooms that we left off with, okay? And the way that her dorm rooms are filled are with these arrows going up. So she fills one as the first floor sunny side room first, then she'll fill the second floor sunny side room, and then we'll go to the second floor party room, third floor sunny side, and then we'll keep going this way, so you'll fill these, and then these, and then these, and these, and those in that order. You're not going to fill any rooms before you fill the rooms behind. Like, I'm going to go from 4P to 5S. I'm not going to start on 4D until 5S is filled. Okay, so Mrs. Hund's rules for filling her dorm rooms, they've got to be filled in this order. Okay? This is my diagram. I'm not going away from my diagram and how I fill it. Okay, so let's just say, let me group all this into one thing so I can make it smaller. All right, so let's just say, I'm going to put our diagram right here off to the side where we can still reference it, because we need it to reference. It will be helpful to reference. But let's just say Mrs. Hund is going through her registration file, and she has counted 33 students in that registration file. All right, so she has 33 students, and we're just using 33 as an example. Okay, so with 33 students, she needs to figure out, okay, where am I leaving off here? All right, so she's going to start doing a configuration. Right now, we're going to call it a student configuration. So we're going to do the student configuration for if she had 33 students. Okay, so in order to do the student configuration, we're going to start at the very first room. So what's the first room she can fill up? The first floor sunny side room. So, and how many can I put in the first floor sunny side room?
2 people.
2. So I'm going to do 1S2. All right, so next I go and I go to the second floor sunny side room. And how many can I put in the second floor sunny side room? 2. Let me also add for our virtual people at home, if you did not watch the first video, stop right now and go back and watch that now. I should have said that first, but if you've not watched the first video, go back and watch that now. All right, so after 1S, 2S, what's the next room that we fill? Second floor party room. I know that's really small for those in the back. So we go to the party room. Now, how many people fit in the party room? 6. 6 people can fit in the party room. So that's 6. So this is how I'm counting my students here, is using my superscripts. Okay, so I'm up to 2, 4, 10. What number am I trying to get to?
33.
I want to get to 33. All right, so after the second floor party room, we can fill up the third floor sunny side room. And how many people will that hold? 2. And then I can move from the third floor sunny side room now to the third floor party room. And how many can a party room hold? 6. And I'm going to move from the third floor party room to the fourth floor sunny side room. So I've got fourth floor sunny side room, and a sunny side room can hold 2. All right, so let me stop and see where I'm at. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. Not there yet, so I can keep going. So after the 4th floor Sunnyside room, then I need to go to the 3rd floor dungeon room. Now, how many can a dungeon room hold? 10. Okay. So I've got 3rd floor dungeon room, and so I'm at 2, 4, 10, 12, 18, 20. I'm at 30. How many do I need?
30.
I need 33. So after the dungeon room, I'm going to go to the 4th floor party room. And so I'm going to go 4P. But do I need all 6 it can hold?
No.
No, how many more do I need?
3.
I need 3 more. Okay, so I need 3 more, so I'm just going to put a 3 there because I need it to equal 33. So I can see now that I'm in the 4th floor party room. All my bottom bunks are filled because remember Miss Hunn's rule, you got to fill the bottom bunks before you can fill the top. So I know where I'm at. I know that I have 3 top bunks left in the party room. But for 33, this is my student configuration while I have 33 students. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna save that. Actually, let's get the whole thing in there. All right, so I'm gonna put that up to the side here. That's my student configuration for 33 students. But she also has another way that she documents these things, and she's gonna call this bunk bed notation. Because remember, the bunk beds are important because we have to fill the bottom bunk in each room before we can fill the top bunk. All right, so in order to do bunk bed notation, this is when we're going to use the lines. Okay, so I have 1S, and I have a bunk bed. And I know for my configuration, I know I'm going to the party room, so I'm going to go ahead and probably draw all this out. I know that I've got 2S, and it's got a bunk bed. And I know that I've got 2P. How many bunk beds does 2P have? 3 bunk beds. It can hold 6 people. So 2P, the party rooms have 3 bunk beds. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then I'm going to 3S. It has a bunk bed. I'm going next to 3P, which has 3 bunk beds. I'm gonna run out of room, aren't I? And then I'm gonna go to 4S, and it's, hold on. It's got a bunk bed. And then I'm gonna go to 3D. How many bunk beds does 3D, does the dungeon room have? It's got 5 bunk beds. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so then I'm gonna go to my 4P. And how many bunk beds does 4P have? 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna stop at 4P because that's where my student configuration stops. All right, so I'm gonna fill up my bunk bed notation with how my rooms are supposed to be filled up. Because remember, Ms. Hunn always puts them in the bottom bunks before she puts them in the top bunks. Okay? All right, so we're going to be in the 1S first. So the first person goes in the bottom bunk, right? Second person then can go in the top bunk. And I filled up my 1st floor Sunnyside room. All right, so now I'm going to go to my 2nd floor Sunnyside. So we're going to go bottom bunk, top bunk. All right, then I'm gonna go to my 2nd floor party room. But it's got 3 bunk beds, so it's working a little different, okay? The first ones we just put bottom and top and we're done. All right, so here we need to do bottom, 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 and then we're gonna go top, 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 okay? All right, so after the 2nd floor party room, we're gonna go to the 3rd floor Sunnyside room. Bottom bunk, top bunk. Then we're gonna go third floor party room. Bottom bunk, bottom bunk, bottom bunk. Then we can start filling our top bunks. Top, top, top. And I know some of you are still like, why are we talking about bunk beds and dorm rooms? It's going to relate, I promise. It's going to relate when we get to the lesson. So after the third floor party room, then we go to the fourth floor sunny side room. You have to do the bottom bunk, and then you do the top bunk. Then our dungeon room, you gotta fill them up. Bottom, 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 bottom. And then we're gonna go top, 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 top. Now how many do we have in the party room for the fourth floor?
3.
We only have 3. We gotta fill up bottom first. So we're gonna go bottom, bottom, bottom. Do I need to put the top, top, top?
No.
No, I don't, okay? That's my bunk bed notation if I have 33 students, okay? All right, last thing I wanna show you do y'all remember dot diagrams? We called them Lewis structures. We called them dot diagrams and Lewis structures when I taught you in the 8th grade. All right. So do y'all remember, like if we did sodium, like if we had sodium, we would write the symbol, and it had 1 valence electron, so we would put 1 dot on it. Y'all remember doing diagrams like those? Okay. Some of you may, some of you may not. You only do dot diagrams for elements that are going to end in your sunny side room or your party room. So your S and P's. That's the only ones you're going to have dot diagrams for. All right. So the way that your dot diagrams work is you have to write a symbol, remember, which is the capital letter or the capital lowercase letter that represents the element, and you have to write the dots on the outside. Now, when I taught you in 8th grade, I didn't tell you there was any pattern to the dots. I just had you put the dots on there. But there is a pattern to the dots. There is a way that they have to go. And now that we're in chemistry, I'm going to show you how they have to go. So you have an imaginary square around the dot diagram. In fact, let's do that in a different color, since we're not really going to draw it when we draw the dot diagram. Let's just draw it in red. So you want to imagine like a square around the symbol. So on the side, on the left side of your symbol, this is where your S dots are going to go. Okay? So 1 bunk bed. Think of each side as holding a bunk bed. So your S bunk bed's going to go here. How many bunk beds do we have in the party room? 3. We have 3 bunk beds. Y'all are giving me these crazy looks. I promise this is all going to come together. Okay? Just stay with me. We have 3 bunk beds in the party room. Okay? So we're going to name those beds in the party room. We're going to name them X, Y, and Z. It doesn't look like a Z, does it? We're going to name them X, Y, and Z. Okay? So we're going to say that the next bunk bed is going to be PX. So my PX dots are going to go here. My PY dots are going to go there. And my PZ dots are going to go here. Okay, so let's look up. What's our main tool in chemistry?
The element
Say again.
The element
The table, the periodic table of elements. That is our main tool in chemistry. So let's pull that up real quick. So let's just say that we can relate Mrs. Hunn's dorm to the periodic table. And if she has 33 students, let's look at what number 33 would be on the periodic table. So number 33 is arsenic. Okay, so if we look at number 33, it's arsenic. So our symbol we're going to use is a S. So let's go back to here. So I'm going to put, for my symbol, I'm going to put a S. Now if I look at this notation for arsenic and I'm looking at the highest level used, what is the highest level, highest floor used? The highest floor that I can go to is 7. But the highest floor that I'm using is 4 right here. Okay? So if the highest floor that I'm using is 4, how many in the how many are in that 4th floor Sunnyside room? How many people? 2. So I can put 2 dots right here. How many people are in the PX bunk bed? 1. So I'm going to put a dot here. How many are in the PY bunk bed? 1. So I'm going to put 1 here. And how many are in the PZ bunk bed? 1. So my configuration for if I have 33 students right here is arsenic, AS, and I've got 2, 1, 1, and 1. Now what is my floor here? 4th floor. What period of the periodic table is arsenic on? The 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Also, if I'm looking at the periodic table, I don't want to reveal that one yet. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to get out your periodic table that you have, and I want you to, I'm gonna leave this up here for you to look at. Okay? I want you, stop moving, just listen, and then I know I told you to get your periodic table, then I told you to stop moving. Just pause for just a second, okay? Let me explain what you're doing, and then I'll let you go, okay? All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to take, for the numbers 1 through 20, I want you to do 3 things for 1 through 20, and I'm leaving this up here for your reference, okay? I want you to do a configuration. I want you to do notation. And I want you to do dot diagrams or Lewis structures. For elements 1 through 20. Okay, so we're going to write down, you should have this written down. I'm going to erase it so I have some space to work because I want to work while you can still see all this. And I know a lot of it's jumbled, but I think you need to look at this while I'm working it. Okay, I'm going to try to separate it a little bit. All right, so let's just start with 1. I said do numbers 1 through 20. So if I have 1 student, all right, so I'm gonna have 1. Work with number 1. If I do my configuration, what comes first? What room comes first? First floor Sunnyside room. And how many kids do I have? 1. That's my configuration. Because I'm just doing 1 student, right? All right. So if I want to do my notation, and I just have 1 student, what do I need to write? Because this is my notation with the blanks. What's my first room? First floor Sunnyside room. Okay, so I'm going to have a 1S and I'm going to have a blank. Where is that 1 person going to go? The bottom floor or the top floor?
The bottom
Floor. Bunk. Sorry, thank you. Bottom bunk or top bunk? Well, Mrs. Hunn's rule says they got to go on the bottom bunk. So for 1 person, they're going to go on the bottom bunk. So now I need to do a dot diagram for that 1 person. Well, let's look back to our periodic table. What's element number 1 on the periodic table? Hydrogen. So my symbol is going to be hydrogen. it's in the S room, where do the S room dots go? Which side? Left side. How many dots should I have? One. I only have one student, so I need one dot. I have one in the highest S room field, which is the only S room field with this one, so I'm going to do one dot. I'm done for number 1. Okay? All right, so let's do number 2. Number 2. All right, so if I have number 2, what's my first room field? First floor sunny side, so 1S, and how many kids do I have? 2. And so they will fill that 1S room up, so 1S2. That's my configuration for 2 students. All right, so I'm going to do my notation, my bunk bed notation. So I've got 1S is my first floor sunny side room, and I've got a blank. And for my notation, which bunk has to be filled first? The bottom bunk, and then I can put somebody in the top bunk. Well, how many kids do I have? 2. I'm done with my bunk bed notation because I put 2 kids in the dorm room. All right, so now I need to do my Lewis structure. Thank you. I need to do my Lewis structure. So I'm going to look at number 2 on here, and it is helium. Now remember, helium is a noble gas, so it thinks it's better than everybody else, right? Everybody in this column has 8 valence electrons, but helium, but that first level of electrons can only hold 2 electrons, so it is a full outer level. That's why it's here. Just keep that in mind as we're doing this. Helium is an exception, even though helium with 2 should be right here, it is over here because of how it behaves. Okay, it just wants to be different. All right, so helium is our number 2. So we have He, and we have 2 students in the S level, so we're going to do, and the S is on the left side, so we're going to do 1 dot here, 1 dot there. And that's our helium. Are y'all with me? Everybody with me? A little bit? Okay. Let's go to the third one and let's see how that one goes. All right, so we're going to do number 3. All right, so for number 3, 3 students. What's the first room that is filled every time? First floor sunny side room. So 1S. And how many kids do we have? 3. But how many can fit in that sunny side room? 2. So we can only put a 2 here. So where do we go next? After first floor sunny side, we've got to go to second floor sunny side. I mean, yes, that's right. Second floor sunny side. How many kids do we have left over to put in that room? 1. Okay, so that gives us our 2 plus 1. That gives us our 3 students. I'm done with my configuration. All right, so now let's go to the bunk bed notation. So how many can fit in the first floor sunny side? 2. So I'm going to do a bottom bunk and a top bunk. But is that all my students? No. So now I've got to make a bunk bed notation for, I've got to go up a floor, go to second floor sunny side, and I'm going to draw a bunk. How many people are in that room? 1, because I only have 3 students right now, so there's 1 in that room. That is my bunk bed notation. I'm done. I've shown where all 3 students go. So now I'm going to go back to my periodic table, and I'm going to look at what number 3 is. So if I find number 3, we've got 1, 2. Number 3 is lithium. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do Li. And how many upper floor, what's our highest floor? 2. So we're only looking at that for our dot diagram. How many are in S and P levels in the second floor? Just 1. We've got 1 in the S level. So where does that 1 go? on the left side. It's gonna go on the left side. So we have LI with one dot on the left. Does that help? Maybe?
A little bit.
Why did I what?
Why don't you put the other dots?
Yeah, why's on one again?
Why's there only one dot?
Cause that,
Cause I'm going with the highest floor. There's only one dot. I'm not putting these three because I wanna go with the dot that's on the highest floor. So right now our second floor is our highest floor. So that's the only ones I'm looking at for the dot diagram. Okay? Those highest floor and the S and P levels on those floors. Let's skip and let's do number 5 real quick. So leave you some space. And let's do number 5. Alright, so if I have number 5, I can put 1S. How many go in 1S? 2. How many go in 2S? That's the next room. 2. So that leaves 2 plus 2 is 4. How many more do I have? 1. So that 1 is going to go in the next one, which is 2P. Now, so I only need 1 there. Alright, so 1S2, 2S2, 2P1. That is my configuration for 5. So when I look at notation now, I want to start 1S. I've got 1 bunk bed in 1S. So I'm going to do 1S. Bottom bunk, top bunk. I'm going to go up a floor and I'm going to do 2S. Bottom bunk, top bunk. Does that take care of all my students? No, that leaves me at 4 and I need to be at 5. Alright, so my next one is 2P. How many bunk beds are in a party room? 2P? It can hold 6 people with 3 bunk beds, okay? So 3 bunk beds, but how do I fill those bunk beds? Bottom first. But how many do I have to even put in there? Just 1. So that 1 is going to go in the first floor bottom bunk. And that's my notation. Yes?
So, if it's only blown up one of the bunks in the notation, do we have to put all 3 of them?
I would, yes. Go ahead and put all 3 just so you know that, hey, there are empty spaces here to be filled. All right? So, my number is 5. I'm going to flip back to my periodic table. So, number 5 on the periodic table is boron. So, I'm going to put a B. Now, what is my highest floor that I have notated? The second floor. So I'm going to only pay attention to what's on the S and P for the second floor. Alright, so how many, because I've got S on the left, and then I do PX, PY, PZ. How many are in the S room? 2. So I'm going to put 2 dots. How many are in the P room? 1, and that's in my first bed, so that'd be 2PX, which is up top. So I'm going to put 1 dot up there. Okay? Questions? All right, I want you to go ahead and I want you to fill in and go through 20. Do 1 through 20 for me. I'm going to come around and help you individually if you need it. Okay? Okay, so at this point you should be done writing your configurations and your notations and the Lewis structures for 1 through 20. And you should have seen a pattern as you go through and you write those. So I want to reveal to you a couple of things, okay? When you're doing this, now obviously I had a chemistry purpose for this whole story. So when you're relating this to the concept we're fixing to use, you want to think of your students they were representing electrons. So all of our students in Mrs. Hunn's dorm is representing electrons. Each floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, that's going to equal our energy levels. The bunk beds are going to equal or simulating orbitals. Now, how many people did each bunk bed hold? 2. An orbital can only hold 2 electrons. Okay? And the rooms, Sunnyside, Party, Dungeon, and Freak Room, they're representing sublevels. Okay? So, just to take this a little bit further, I want everybody to make sure you're watching and paying attention to this, okay? I'm going to pull up, I've got another periodic table. It's an older version of the periodic table, but I think you'll still get the point. My Sunnyside room, these 2 families right here. Now, hydrogen is at the top of this, which makes sense because hydrogen is what fuels our sun, and we're calling it this Sunnyside room the S level, or the S block. This is my S block. How many people could a Sunnyside room hold? 2. How many groups are in the Sunnyside room? 2. My party room, or my P block on the periodic table, where helium's at the top. What do we use helium for? Balloons. Parties, right? So this is my P block. How many groups or families are in my P block?
6.
How many people did the party room hold? 6. Then I go to my dungeon room. On the periodic table, that is the D block. Let's see how many families are in the D block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many people did the dungeon room hold? 10. Now we're going to go to the F block, which is down here. This is my F block. How many beds did the freak room have? 7. So it would hold how many people? 14. How many families do you think I'm going to have down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so every block, every room represented a block on the periodic table. So when I look at sulfur, if you've got a number 16 on your configuration, sulfur should end in 3p4. Am I correct? Did I just do that whole line in my head? No, you know what I did? I looked. It's in the P block. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 over. So, and it's 1, 2, 3 levels down. So, 3p4. Party room, 3p. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should know that if I did the configuration for 10, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5p2, because it's over 1, 2 in the P block. With S's, I can come over here and I can see that calcium is 4 down. You should have done calcium number 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The S block is the number 2, so my configuration for calcium should be 4S2 is where it ends. So that's how I check to see, is it where I needed it to end. All right, so another thing, because periodic, I taught you in 8th grade, periodic table is all about patterns. My valence electrons, this column has 1, this column has 2. We skip the dip, the D, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as far as valence electrons. That's what those dots represent on those outer level electrons. Those dots on your Lewis structure are representing those valence electrons. Do you notice that everyone you have matches the one up here, with the exception of helium? So you should have, if you have oxygen, you should have 6 dots. You have fluorine, you should have 7 dots. Chlorine should have 7 dots, following that pattern. Okay? Now, your D and your F levels are a little bit different because, remember, in Mrs. Hunn's story, in the first part of the story, it took less energy to fill the 4S level than it did to live in the 3rd floor dungeon room. So your S and your P's are following the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is actually your 3D dungeon room. This is 3D. So this is a level behind here just because they feel 4S first. So 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D. Okay? So we're going to stop right there. I just kind of wanted to show you how the Hun story ties in with the periodic table. Now Friday we'll learn about the rules and everything that comes with this. And you'll see we have an Aufbau diagram that we refer to. We have a Hun's rule that we refer to. But hopefully it'll all be easier when we get there. Okay? So I'm going to stop the video.